Are you serious? Are you serious? Get some coffee, everybody. Calm down in Yellowstone. Yellowstone. Yes, and Montana, they were hit with a very strong jolt, a powerful 4.5 magnitude earthquake recorded in Yellowstone National Park in the evening last night, but it's been followed by several earthquakes, including a 2.7 all the way to 3.1. Here's the whole thing. It's very shallow, very, very shallow. Let me give you an update now what's been going on. If you guys remember, 2 days ago, I noticed that there was a 3.7 or so earthquake in Yellowstone there in Montana. And I said, I don't like it. I don't like it. And there was a couple more smaller aftershocks. I kept saying, I don't like it. I don't like it. Don't let this super volcano open up and awake. Here's what's happened in the last 24 hours. All right. There's been several quakes. Some of them 4.6 in Indonesia, 4.5 in Fiji. We understand these areas, 4.6 the Philippines, 4.5 Papua New Guinea, 4.2 in Chile, 4.5. This is when it happened. Yellowstone last night, around 6:48 p.m. Mountain Time. Here we go. A 4.5 jolt in Yellowstone National Park, followed by a 2.7. And remember, this 4.5 earthquake that hit Yellowstone in Montana was only 9.4 kilometers deep, followed by a 2.7, then another 2.6, then a 3.1. All of these earthquakes taking place within about a 3-minute period. Then the Philippines had a 4.9, and then here goes Yellowstone, 2.9. And then Arkansas, Harrison, Arkansas then must have felt the jolt, because then Harrison, Arkansas had a quake of 2.9. Then Washington State, over just not too far from the Yellowstone area, had a 3.6. Then we kept going and kept studying what was going on. Alaska had a couple of quakes. We had a 4.2 in El Salvador, and a 2.9 in Ferndale, California, 3.3 in Ferndale, California, a 4.3 in Argentina, a 4.7 in Papua New Guinea. Alaska had a couple more quakes of 3.6 and 2.7, and then it happened again. Yellowstone, powerful 2.8, again very shallow. Alaska with a 2.9, Chile with a 4.4, and then Yellowstone just a few minutes ago, a 2.7. So we continue to see these quakes. They're not slowing down, folks. Yellowstone National Park, Montana, Yellowstone, Montana is where this quake epicenter is, and the aftershocks continue. And remember, we're dealing here with a super volcano with the potential of an eruption. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if, and scientists say when it goes, and who knows, that could be what, 100 years from now, 100 days from now, no guarantees on this thing, but it is a massive super volcano that is so large that it would literally destroy the northwest portion of the United States and part of southwestern Canada. That would just be from the initial eruption and the shock waves and the fire and the brimstone, the smoke and the ash would really send the United States and Canada into a dark winter for about 3 years. Vegetation would start dying. You have to understand, we're talking about a cataclysmic, apocalyptic, nearly extinction of this side of the hemisphere. So this is not nothing to play with. And if you're having a 4.5 earthquake followed by a lot of aftershocks right there, you got to watch it. And I said this 2 days ago. Now, I'm not a seismologist. I'm not a meteorologist. I'm not a climatologist. I'm not a cosmetologist. I'm not an ophthalmologist or even a cardiologist. But I am I've been watching what's going on. How's that? A country preacher in the cornfields of Indiana. I can just tell you, I know what the Bible says. From eschatology's concerned, these are the types of events that the Bible spoke of. Great earthquakes. And you have to understand, don't forget Pastor Dr. Katie Collin. Dr. Katie Collin of Harvest Army. He has prophesied of a great earthquake coming upon America. And this is not a man that just blows smoke. And he's had an unbelievable amount of prophecies come true, incredibly. All over the world, he has been able to, God has revealed to him earthquakes and different types of things. So we're going to watch very closely. He didn't say when, he didn't say where, but I think we should be aware that we're living in the last days. Now, forget that. If you don't believe the science and if you don't believe the prophecies, then take the Bible. And Jesus said in the last days there would be earthquakes in diverse places. All right? Even a great shaking in the heavens and on the earth. Now, if you don't believe the Bible and you don't believe the science and you don't believe the prophecies of the prophets like Katie Collins, then I guess it'll take sight to completely cure the blind. Give your life to Jesus Christ. That might be too late, though. Give your life to Christ now. We are running out of time. Are you saved? Don't miss today's live broadcast. Starts at 12 noon Eastern. My guest is Rabbi Stephen Ben-Danoon. Did Russia kill al-Baghdadi of ISIS? We're going to ask Stephen Ben-Danoon. Is he really dead, or is this just another false rumor? And is the United States working with Russia to destroy ISIS? Because it seems ISIS is on the run. And if Baghdadi is dead in Raqqa, which is really the ISIS's unofficial capital, and if ISIS is being run out of Mosul, they're now cornered into one spot. Why couldn't the Obama administration in the 3 years, first of all, how did ISIS form? Who started the Arab Spring? Why did Obama pull out of Iraq early? How come he left all the weapons and hardware and cash? Why did he strike the deal with the Iranians? How come he smuggled cash into them on that airplane? And how come he couldn't defeat ISIS in the 3 more years he was president? Trump has been in office less than 6 months, been ridiculed from day one, protested, hated on, trashed by the media, can't find cooperation anywhere. And yet at the end of the day, within 6 months, he may have, along with Russia, they may have teamed up to put ISIS in a corner that they can't get out. And maybe the head of the snake's been decapitated, al-Baghdadi. I'll be back with more. We'll talk to Stephen Ben-Danoon when we come back. Are you saved? Are you serious? Are you serious? Folks, now a few days ago I did a video called the Doomsday Eclipse, a total eclipse that's going to go across America. We haven't had a total eclipse of the sun since February 26, 1998, that went all the way across America. So it's basically, folks, we're looking at almost 19 years since this event has taken place. But it will take place next year, August 21st, 2017, a total eclipse of the sun. The sun will become as dark as sackcloth of hair. Daylight will turn to night. And it will begin at 1:20 p.m. in the afternoon and last till 1:22 p.m. And this will take place across America. But what you don't know is the really strange event that will happen 7 years later. It will take place on April the 8th, 2024. Just a little less than 7 years later, there will be another total eclipse of the sun that will go across America. This time, as it goes across, it will cross. There's a spot where literally the two different eclipses cross at a significant point. We did some research to find out where that point is, and it happens to be in Carbondale, Illinois. All right? Southern Illinois. Carbondale, Illinois happens to be the city of Southern Illinois University. The Salukis is what they're called themselves. Well, here's something I went to see. Why is this happening? Is there anything significant about this location on Earth? Because basically, if you live in Carbondale, Illinois, you can watch the total eclipse of the sun next year, and then 7 years later, watch it again twice over your same city, which is unbelievable. This won't happen no other place in the world. Carbondale, the nickname of this city is Little Egypt. What? Why? Well, in 1830 and 1831, the winter of 1830 and 31, they had what was called the Winter of Deep Snow. And early frost hit that year in September up in the northern part of Illinois. And the winter was so bad, it lasted all the way into late spring, that they had a horrible harvest. So they were out of grain. But down there in Carbondale, their harvest was plentiful, and they had tons of it, tons of grain, and so they were able to supply the northern part of the state, and in parts of Indiana, parts of Missouri, parts of Wisconsin. Unbelievable that they nicknamed the Carbondale area there. They nicknamed it Little Egypt. It's where the grain was. Well, this went on a little bit further than that. We found out later that down in southern Illinois, that not too far from Carbondale is where the Mississippi and the Ohio River meet in a little town called Cairo, Illinois. Not Cairo, Egypt. But anyway, kind of strange. As a matter of fact, the first train that ever passed through Carbondale, Illinois, came from Cairo, Illinois, on Independence Day, July 4th, 1854. Now, there's two newspapers currently, right now, in Carbondale, Illinois. One's called the Southern Illinoisan. The other one's called the Daily Egyptian. What? Are you serious? And, weird enough, there was a man by the name of Jeremy Roachman. His son had died in a horrible car accident at the age of 19. Jeremy then created a memorial park and built a castle in the park. But when you go in the castle, it's really weird, and there's life-size figures of the Dungeons and Dragons on the inside of this castle. Really strange. Again, Carbondale, Illinois. Also, Southern Illinois University, the Salukis. What's a Saluki? A Saluki is an Egyptian breed of dog. Matter of fact, it's the oldest breed in the world. They're called Salukis. They're a royal dog. And Carbondale, Illinois is known for its riots on Halloween. In the 1980s, they had some dreadful riots, horrible vandalism. In the 1990s, again, horrible riots there in the city of Carbondale on Halloween night. And the last one they had was the year 2000, a terrible riot, flipping cars, vandalism, people getting hurt, tear gas. It was the riot of Halloween night of 2000. They then had to shut all the bars down, and for 15 years, basically have martial law on Halloween night in Carbondale, Illinois, putting strict curfews. They just now lifted it. Why all of this weirdness? Why all of this happening in Carbondale? And why Egypt? And when you think of Egypt, you think of the pyramids, right? And you think about the weirdness of the sun worship and Re and the different ways of the eclipses and all the different things with the pyramids. And so you start to wonder, is there something going on? Is there something significant about these two solar eclipse? When I say it's the doomsday eclipse, I'm not saying it's the end of the world. I'm not saying Jesus is coming back that day. I'm just saying, is there something significant? There's even a lake just outside of Carbondale called Devil's Kitchen Lake. I mean, you can't make this stuff up, folks. Are you serious? You can't make this stuff up. And even during the 1858, the great debates, 1858 and 1859, the great debates between Abraham Lincoln and Douglas, Stephen Douglas, all over Illinois, they had a debate in which Abraham Lincoln said, whatever we do, we must save Little Egypt, referring to southern Illinois area and Carbondale. What's that mean? Anyway, there's been a ton of stuff that's happened, and there's a whole lot more we're going to investigate further. Carbondale, Illinois, the only site on the planet where the next two total eclipses of the sun will intersect in one location on August the 21st, 2017, and April the 8th, 2024. Are you serious? Are you serious? It's the doomsday eclipse. Give your life to Jesus Christ. We're running out of time. I'll meet you in Carbondale next year. What?